Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hope you're doing well. We're continuing our reading of Dante Alighieri's Purgatorio. Alright, we are in canto number 6. Alright, let's begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dante's Inquiry on Prayers for the Dead, Sordello, Italy. Whene'er is broken up the game of Zara, he who has lost remains behind despondent, the throes repeating and in sadness learns. The people with the other all depart. On goes in front, and one behind doth pluck him, and at his side one brings himself to mind. He pauses not, and this and that one hears. They crowd no more, to whom his hand he stretches, and from the throng he thus defends himself. Even such was I in that dense multitude, turning to them this way and that my face, and promising I freed myself therefrom. There was the Aretine, who from the arms untamed of Ginditaco had his death, and he who, fleeing from pursuit, was drowned. There was imploring with his hands outstretched Frederick Novello, and that one of Pisa who made the good Marzucco seem so strong. I saw Count Orso, and the soul divided by hatred and by envy from its body, as it declared, and not for crime committed. So here again you'll see classic Dante style, where he's naming a lot of people who are native to the region, but also the time period in a really strong sense. And since we don't know who they are and we'd have to search it up, that's the only criticism that I would have of Dante, is he didn't think in the future people will not even know who these people are, but he gives us hints about them because of where they are. And this line 19, 20, and 21, the soul divided by hatred and envy from its body. That's a dense one there. That the soul would want to split so quickly like that, and for those reasons. Pierre de la Brosse, I say, and here provide while still on earth the Lady of Brabant, so that for this she be of no worse flock, as soon as I was free from all those shades, who only prayed that someone else may pray, so as to hasten their becoming holy. Began I, it appears that thou deniest, O light of mine, expressly in some text, that Horizon can bend decree of heaven, and nevertheless these people pray for this. Might then their expectation bootless be? So their expectation bootless be. So it's like without protection, it's not able to withstand, because boots on you are helping you to do hard work, but also protecting your toes. So they're barefoot in a place where they need to have shoes. Or is it to me thy saying not quite clear? And he to me, my writing is explicit, and not fallacious, is the hope of these, if with the sane intellect 'tis well regarded. For top of judgment doth not veil itself, because the fire of love fulfills at once. The fire of love fulfills at once. Comes on real strong and engulfs, like tossing dry shrubs into the flames. What he must satisfy who here installs him. And there, where I affirm that proposition, defect was not amended by a prayer, because the prayer from God was separate. From God? What are you talking about, my guy? Two things I didn't like here. That Horizon can bend the decree of heaven. For us, Allah does as He wills. And then a prayer from God. God don't pray to nobody because there's no one above him. Allah's the Most High. So I found these lines strange. Verily in so deep a questioning do not decide unless she tell it thee, who light twixt truth and intellect shall be. I know not if thou understand, I speak of Beatrice. Oh yes, the lovely Beatrice. Her shalt thou see above, smiling and happy on this mountain top. Smiling and happy on this mountain top. Beatrice is like his crush. And I, good leader, let us make more haste, for I no longer tire me as before, and see e'en now the hill a shadow casts. So he got to see her, and now he doesn't feel tired anymore, and now he's being able to walk faster because he sees her. This really highlights vision, gaze, motivation of beauty. If you think about when maybe I don't agree with ring girls, as Khabib said, they're useless, but it is quite strange thing how ring girls and cheerleaders, when men see women clapping them on or just being around, they somehow want to show off more, or they get this bolt of energy. It's almost like their desire is stimulated and the testosterone starts pumping or something. They don't want to be seen weak in front of a beautiful woman, something like that. And I, good leader, let us make more haste, for I no longer tire me as before. And seeing now the hill a shadow cast, we will go forward with this day, he answered, as far as now is possible for us. But otherwise the fact is than thou thinkest. Ere thou art up there, thou shalt see return him who now hides himself behind the hill, so that thou dost not interrupt his rays. Interrupting his rays. That's a unique one. It's a nice line. But yonder there behold a soul that stationed all alone is looking hitherward. It will point out to us the quickest way. We come up into it, O Lombard soul. How lofty and disdainful thou didst bear thee, and grand and slow in moving of thine eyes. Nothing whatever did it say to us, but let us go our way, eyeing us only after the manner of a couchant lion. Still near to it Virgilius drew, entreating that it would point us out the best ascent, and it replied not unto his demand, but of our native land and of our life. It questioned us, and the sweet guide began. Mantua, and the shade all in itself recluse, rose you towards him from the place where first it was, saying, O Mantuan, I am Sordello, of thine own land, and one embraced the other. Ah, severe Italy, grief's holstery, a ship without a pilot in great tempest, no lady thou of provinces but brothel. No lady thou of provinces but brothel. So you're not a lady of the province, you're a lady of the brothel. That's an interesting one. That noble soul was so impatient, only at the sweet sound of his own native land, to make its citizen glad welcome there. And now within thee are not without war thy living ones, and one doth gnaw the other, of those whom one wall and one fosse shut in. Search, wretched one, all round about the shores, thy seaboard, and then look within thy bosom, if any part of thee enjoyeth peace. What boots it for thee, Justinian, the bridle mend, if empty be the saddle? Withouten this shame would be the less. Ah, people, thou that oughtest to be devout, so let Caesar sit upon the saddle. And if thou hearest what God teacheth thee, behold how fell this wild beast has become, being no longer by the spur corrected, since thou hast laid thy hand upon the bridle, O German Albert, who abandonest her that has grown recalcitrant and savage, and ought to bestride her saddle bow. May I just judgment from the stars down fall upon thy blood, and be it new and open. that thy successor may have fear thereof. Thy successor may have fear thereof. May a just judgment from the stars down fall upon thy blood. A just judgment from the stars? Judgment comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It says kind of some paganish stuff in this. This is like the real section where I'm like, Dante, what's going on over here? Because thy father and thyself have suffered. Hedwig is being such a boy to Gladiator, and he's just sitting there, fluffing his feathers, minding his own business, but Hedwig is just not having it. Because thy father and thyself have suffered by greed of those transalpine lands distrained, the garden of the empire to be waste, come and behold Montecchi and Cappelletti, Monaldi and Filippeschi. Careless man, those sat already in these doubt depressed. That's a unique word. It almost looks like death. It's funny. Doubt depressed. Depressed from doubts. Come, cruel one, come and behold the oppression of thy nobility, and cure their wounds. And thou shalt see how safe is Santifiore. Okay, come, cruel one, come and behold the oppression of thy nobility. Oppression of nobility. Oppression of nobility. I think Princess Diana highlighted that really well. You get this prestige, but that doesn't mean it's gonna be so light and airy. Come and behold thy Rome, that is lamenting, widowed, alone, and day and night exclaims, My Caesar, why hast thou forsaken me? How Rome calls out for Caesar. Come and behold how loving are the people. And if for us no pity moveth thee, come and be ashamed of thy renown. Come and be ashamed of thy renown. And if it lawful be, O Jove supreme, why upon earth for us wast crucified? Are thy just eyes averted otherwhere? Or preparations isn't that in the abyss of thine own counsel? For some good thou makest from our perception utterly cut off. For all the towns of Italy are full of tyrants, and becometh a Marcellus, each peasant churl who plays the partisan. So for all the towns of Italy are full of tyrants, so tell me how you really feel. My Florence, well mayest thou contented be with this digression, which concerns thee not. Thanks to thy people, who such forethought take, many a heart have justice. But shoot slowly. That's a very good line right there. So the delay in actually standing up for something. Slow to action. That unadvised they come not to the bow, but on their very lips thy people have it. Many refuse to bear the common burden, but thy solicitous people unanswereth. But thy solicitous people answereth. Oh, I thought he was going to say unanswereth. Without being asked, and crieth, I submit. So without being asked, they're saying that they submit. No one asked, so you can just see how these people don't seem very happy. So he just mentioned tyrants. Italy's full of tyrants, and that the common folk are saying, hey man, I submit, and I'm not doing too good. Now be thou joyful, for thou hast good reason. Thou affluent, thou in peace, thou full of wisdom. If I speak true, the event conceals it not. Athens and Lacedaemon, they who made the ancient laws, and were so civilized, made towards living well a little sign, compared with thee who makest such fine-spun provisions. Fine-spun provision? So maybe like fine fabrics? excuse me, that to middle of November reaches, not what thou in October spinnest. How oft within the time of thy remembrance, laws, money, offices, and usages hast thou remodeled, and renewed thy members. And if thou mind thee well, and see the light, thou shalt behold thyself like a sick woman, who cannot find repose upon her down, but by her tossing wardeth off her pain. Okay, by tossing wardeth off her pain. Tossing. Oh, it is kind of true how you squirm when you're in pain. It doesn't do a whole lot, but when you got a stomach ache or a backache, man, everybody's just so upset. Kids are not having fun, fighting over toys, and then Gladiator and Hedwig are just having a tizzy fit. If thou mind thee well and see the light, thou shalt behold thyself like a sick woman who cannot find repose upon her down. So, mind thee well. If you see the light, you'll see that you're like a sick woman. Cannot find repose upon her down. So, she's ill, she's tossing and turning. Because sometimes when you don't feel good, you're usually told, hey, go lie down. And that makes you alright. You got seasickness, you got something wrong with you, then lying down really helps with that. But clearly, that's not the case with the example he's using. Because your mom usually will tell you, go lie down, honey, right? So the other line that was unique was, many at heart have justice but shoot slowly. So if your people are out here really unhappy, you're not going to do really well as a leader. And again, Montecchi, Cappelletti, Monaldi, Filippeschi, careless man. So people might be reading this at this time and felt really embarrassed that they're being named in this book or being compared to. Oppression of your nobility, being ashamed of your renown. Justinian is mentioned. Servile Italy, grief's holstery. So a holster, you put your gun in there, right, to hold it, keep it safe. So grief is being holstered in Italy, who's serving the needs not of the people but of the tyrants. He mentioned Beatrice, and he seems to really have a fond affection for her. Bootless expectations. Interruption of rays, things like that. It's really interesting. Okay, so unique canto. Canto 6 seems a bit dry. I gotta say, like I said this before, I think the Inferno is more suffering. Purgatory does seem like a kind of a weird middle ground. You know, something interesting. Peasant churl who plays the partisan. Peasant churl. Dante insults in a unique way. You have Shakespearean insults, then you have Dantean insults. And imagine a rap battle between Dante and Shakespeare. Let me know what you think. I hope you're doing well. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you'd like to support my channel and read my blog, you can do so by going to www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive and go write some poetry. Go write some poetry. And get very philosophical.